Cheers everyone and welcome back to Instant Screaming. Today we've got two faux documentary movies, both available on Amazon Prime, Lake Mungo and Digging Up the Marrow. First up, Lake Mungo is an Australian horror movie from the early days of found footage and presents itself as a documentary about the tragic death of Alice Palmer. More specifically, the odd film and video evidence her brother had compiled afterwards that seemed to show Alice manifesting in the house from beyond the grave. The movie has a bit of a dull start, and it took a somewhat unfortunate amount of time for me to really get invested in the story, which was primarily told through interviews and archived footage. But once I got myself on the hook, it was a tremendously well-executed horror story with really interesting elements of true crime, ghostly activity, and a nice sprinkling of just strange. The reveals and twists were spread nicely through the last half with a feeling of escalation rather than a sudden and frantic spike in activity. It doesn't have a ton of visual flair, and the slow beginning hurts it a bit, so I can see why some people might not get into it, but if you don't mind a bit of a down-tempo supernatural flick, it is well worth checking out. Now on to Digging Up the Marrow, which is another faux documentary piece by Adam Green, the director of the Hatchet series. This is a meta-horror piece in which Adam and his friends and collaborators play themselves in between seasons of his TV series Holliston. He's contracted by a man who claims that monsters are real, he knows where they live, and that he'd like Green to come and film him to document the proof and get the story out there. But not. This is a decent movie. It's not great. I like the sense of humor, and the creature design is a real high point. It's kind of in the cartoony vein, but realistic with a real air of savagery. The only problem I have is that there's a lot of build-up with very little actual monster payoffs for the majority of the movie. Probably due to their budget, they saved the monsters they did use until the very ending sprint. The end did have some pretty good menace, but a whole lot of the rest of the runtime was just awkward discussions and arguments with a scene here or there of tension building and reaction shots. So the final verdict on Digging Up the Marrow is, it's a fun, light jaunt with a few monsters and jumps, but not a lot of substance otherwise. Anyway, that's it for this week. Please feel free to leave any comments about these movies or any other movies in the comments section below. Like and subscribe for more videos. And see you next week. Cheers.